Most people know every house on their street. The blue house with the basketball hoop, the white house with the barking dog, the brick house with the old pickup truck parked outside every morning. But on Willow Creek Drive, there was one house nobody seemed to acknowledge. It sat quietly between two perfectly normal homes, yet something about it felt wrong. Not abandoned, not haunted in the traditional sense. Just wrong. My name is Sam Carter, and this happened during the summer before my senior year of high school in Ohio. I was obsessed with internet mysteries, creepy urban legends, unexplained Google Maps discoveries, and paranormal stories. Every night I would watch horror documentaries, browse Reddit mystery threads, and search for the strangest, unexplained phenomena I could find. I thought I had seen every creepy mystery the internet had to offer. Then I noticed the gray house across my street. The house looked old but maintained. The paint was faded and peeling in places, yet the lawn was always perfectly trimmed. The windows were spotless. The porch was clean. No cars ever appeared in the driveway, and nobody was ever seen entering or leaving. Still, it never looked abandoned. It looked as though someone or something was taking care of it. The strange part was that none of my neighbors seemed interested in discussing it. Whenever I brought it up, people became uncomfortable. My parents changed the subject. My friends laughed nervously. One evening, I asked my elderly neighbor, Mr. Hansen, who had lived on the street for nearly 40 years. "Who lives in the gray house?" I asked. His expression immediately changed. He stared toward the house for several seconds before replying quietly, "I don't think anyone lives there." Then he walked away without another word. The encounter left me unsettled, but mostly curious. A few days later, I was exploring Google Maps when I decided to look at my neighborhood in Street View. I dragged the little yellow icon onto my street and began scrolling down the road. Every house appeared exactly where it should. Every tree, mailbox, and driveway matched reality perfectly. Then I reached the gray house, or rather, where the gray house should have been. The property was completely empty. According to Google Street View, there was no house between number 24 and number 28. There was only an empty lot covered in grass. I refreshed the page. Nothing changed. I checked older Street View images dating back more than 10 years. Every single capture showed the same thing, an empty lot. No house, no foundation. No evidence that a building had ever existed there. Yet, when I looked out my bedroom window, I could see the gray house standing right across the street. My stomach twisted with unease. The next afternoon, I decided to prove the house existed. I grabbed my phone and walked across the street. The moment I stepped onto the property, the temperature seemed to drop. The neighborhood sounds faded away. No birds chirped. No dogs barked. Even the wind seemed to stop. The silence felt unnatural. I raised my phone and snapped a photograph of the house. The camera flashed. The image appeared for a split second, then it vanished. I opened my gallery. Nothing. I took another picture. Gone. Another. Gone. Every image disappeared within seconds of being captured. My heartbeat accelerated. I switched to video mode and started recording. 6 seconds later, the screen froze and my phone suddenly restarted itself. When it powered back on, the recording was gone. I stared at the screen in disbelief. Then I noticed movement in one of the upstairs windows. A curtain slowly shifted to the side. Someone was standing behind it watching me. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about the house. Around 2:13 a.m., I woke to a faint tapping sound outside my bedroom window. Tap, tap, tap. Half asleep, up and looked toward the street. The gray house was almost completely dark. Almost. One upstairs window glowed with a dim yellow light. Standing behind the glass was a figure. It was far too tall to be human. Its head nearly touched the ceiling. Its body appeared unnaturally thin, stretching upward like a shadow cast by a distorted light source. I blinked. The figure disappeared instantly. The light went out. Darkness swallowed the window once again. I convinced myself it had been a dream, but when I checked my phone the next morning, I found something impossible. A new photograph had appeared in my gallery. The image was mostly black, except for a faint reflection of my face. Standing directly behind me was a tall shadow. The timestamp showed the picture had been taken at exactly 2:13 a.m. while I was asleep. Terrified but fascinated, I uploaded the image to an online photography forum. Within minutes, people began commenting. One user wrote, "Delete this immediately." Another asked, "Where did you find that house?" A third comment simply read, "I've seen it before." Seconds later, the account vanished. The comment disappeared. The entire profile ceased to exist. Over the following days, strange things started happening. I began seeing the gray house in places where it shouldn't have been. Reflections in store windows, security camera footage, a mirror in the school restroom. Every glimpse lasted only a moment, but the house was always there. Watching, waiting. Sometimes I thought I could even see the tall figure standing in an upstairs window. Eventually, curiosity overcame fear. One Friday night, I crossed the street carrying a flashlight and a digital camera. If my phone couldn't capture evidence, maybe a different device could. The front gate creaked open by itself before I touched it. The sound echoed through the silent neighborhood. As I approached the porch, I noticed something disturbing. The house seemed larger than it had before, taller, wider. The front door stood slightly open. A dark hallway stretched beyond it. The smell that drifted out was ancient, dust, mold, and something else I couldn't identify. Something that reminded me of damp earth from a freshly dug grave. My flashlight flickered as I stepped inside. The interior made no sense. Hallways stretched farther than the dimensions of the house should allow. Doors led back to rooms I had already left. Windows revealed views that couldn't possibly exist. The deeper I ventured, the quieter everything became. Eventually, I heard footsteps overhead. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Someone knew I was inside. I climbed the staircase and followed the sound. At the end of the upper hallway stood a single wooden door. It slowly opened on its own. Inside was a room containing an old desk, a dusty computer, and hundreds of photographs scattered across the floor. Every photograph showed a different person standing in front of the gray house. The photos spanned decades. Some were modern, others were yellowed with age. But every single one contained the same detail: a tall shadow standing behind the person being photographed. As I searched through the pile, I discovered the oldest photograph. It was dated 1937. The lot was completely empty. The gray house wasn't visible, yet the shadow was still there, standing alone in the middle of the field where the house should have been. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from downstairs. My heart nearly stopped. Heavy footsteps thundered through the house. They were moving toward me, fast. I ran from the room. The hallway seemed different now, longer, twisting. The walls shifted around me. Doors slammed shut. The staircase disappeared. Panic consumed me. Then I heard a voice whisper directly beside my ear. "You finally noticed us." The flashlight died instantly. Darkness swallowed everything. I sprinted blindly through the house until I saw moonlight ahead. Throwing myself forward, I crashed through the front door and landed on the grass outside. The neighborhood streetlights flickered overhead. I looked back toward the house. Everything was silent again. The upstairs window glowed softly with yellow light. Standing behind the glass was the tall figure. This time I could see its face. It wasn't smiling. It wasn't angry. It simply looked patient, as though it had all the time in the world. The next morning, the house was gone. Completely gone. An empty lot stood between number 24 and number 28, exactly as Google Street View had always shown. My neighbors insisted no house had ever existed there. My parents thought I was imagining things. Every photograph I had taken vanished. Every recording disappeared. Every piece of evidence was erased. Everything except one thing. Every year since that night, at exactly 2:13 a.m., my phone receives a notification from an unknown sender. Attached is a single photograph of a gray house. Each year, the house appears closer than before. And in every image, standing in the upstairs window, is the same tall shadow watching me, waiting. If you ever discover a house that doesn't exist on Google Street View, don't photograph it. Don't investigate it. And whatever you do, don't let it know you've noticed it, because some places don't want to be found. And once they find you back, they never let go. The shadows may be fading, but the fear will stay with you long after this story ends. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Midnight Terror family for more terrifying stories. Sleep carefully, because your next nightmare could be waiting.